Joining us now are Anthony and Ryan, and we're going to be talking about solar. That's right, solar. I love the sun, and they do too. What is so great about the power of the sun, Ryan? What's going on there?
Well, Donna, it's a renewable source that's infinite. And I think once we lean into the fact that it's not going anywhere, but powering our homes, our communities, our businesses, we can get around the concept of don't want to change. But it's clean, it's the future.
It is the future, right?
Yeah.
It's actually the past. And before, there were solar panels that didn't work so great. But Anthony, what is it about your product line that's actually like working? How is it helping people? Like maybe they've had old gross panels, right? But what's new in this technology that you're putting on that's working so well?
Well, that's the best part about us. I think that we always, when we started SunChain, we wanted to find the best possible product to put on somebody's roof.
Okay.
And finding that gives us we sleep better at night knowing that we have a system on your roof that's going to work for at least 30 years. We put something, we have warranties, 25 years with panels that will work at 92% in 25 years. And that's one of the big things with solar.
Okay.
It's come so far. You've had panels in the past, 20, 30 years ago that just aren't producing like they should. And seeing that through trial and error and cutting edge technology, really, the panels today are just really meant to last and really meant to help you save into the future of your house.
And they don't have to be ugly, right?
No.
They can look better, right, Ryan? Okay, so instead of just having like junk up on the roof, right? What are the aesthetics of your product that make it like a little more chic?
So with these panels today that we're deploying, they're black on black, which is great then versus the blue ones that were being installed about 5 years ago.
Okay.
They have a lower profile look to them, and then they have a premium critter guard that goes around it to ensure practicality that the birds, the squirrels, they don't get underneath and make nests and create a bigger problem than we have. And we get a lot of compliments on the aesthetic piece of it because that's a huge thing for Long Island.
Critter protector.
Yep. Oh, and
I
it's,
like
it's
that.
very important. A lot of people, I actually was in finance for a long time before I got into solar, and I realized that the best part of an investment is one that lasts. You want your investment to last. So, at SunChain, we want the longevity of the system to be, our sunshine. We want that to be memorable. And we love to put the critter guards on because if somebody is upset about, their experience with solar in the past,
Okay.
a lot of times it is because
A
things can
critter.
get under, nesting can occur, and by basically getting that over to the client without them really asking for it and including it on your projects, you give the client, protection, whether they, are really interested in it or not, and that's very important to give them that stability.
What happens when someone goes to sell their home and you have installed the SunChain system on their roof?
Well, I had a home before the one I'm in now, and I can just tell you about my personal
Please,
experience.
that would be great.
I had a $15 electric bill. The homeowner had asked me, what am I going to do with my system? And I have owned it outright. And I said, I'm going to take it with me. She said, no, I'd rather keep it. I'll give you an extra $10,000 for it. So that was what I expected. That's what we got. So if you're looking to sell your home and you own your solar system, the buyer knows, I too want a $15 electric bill, and I don't want to have to go through the process. It already looks good. It's working. So that's the value that you can expect.
Like a beautiful new kitchen, right? Sometimes they'll be like, oh, I have this appliance or that appliance, right? And they're like, they want that inside that house contract,
Sure.
right? They probably would want this system as well.
You're right, but there's buyers that don't like the way they look or don't like solar, just
Okay.
like there's people that buy homes and don't like the way the kitchen looks. They're going to make it theirs. And it's not for everybody, but we're seeing a bigger audience of people that want that freedom, they want that low cost, and we're loving that process, the buying and selling of it.
My utility bill is really high. I mean, and I'm like wondering, I'm like, is somebody tapping off my utilities? I'm like, what's going on? Am I like,
And that's really the big thing with solar right now. I think that of course you want to save the environment. Of course, it's a natural resource through the sun. But more importantly, the electrical grid was not made to last 80 years, and there's a lot of repairing going on. And what solar is doing, and especially with a lot of the government tax incentives, is they're allowing people to go solar effectively to save money. And believe it or not, you can own panels and still save. And that's really important to know that without really coming out of pocket, you can actually, especially in New York, Long Island, where we're based, you can save money off the bat. But the best part about it is knowing that your bill will go down to just whatever the PSEG or the other, any other electric company is going to charge you for a connection fee. The goal is to protect the client for the future. And when we, when Ryan and Steve, when I first met them and when they really birthed SunChain, what was interesting to me is I had met with 5 companies actually. I was a young homeowner, and the best part about it was realizing that every single solar company has a different approach. Solar should not be generalized because this is not what other companies may be offering. We're here, trying to offer the most cost-effective, highest quality systems with the correct financing that'll put somebody in a better situation in the future. And with the service that we have, and people can call us, and you know exactly where to find us, and it's very important.
Speaking of that, even though you might not be in Iowa or some of the other states, right? If there's a solar company and they would reach out to you, can you guys collaborate? Can
Absolutely.
you do like a collaboration?
Yeah, we're in markets outside of New York that we can go and service people in New Jersey, for example, Florida, California, Texas. My point, though, is all these markets cost the customer nothing to get, which sounds hard to believe when they're going to invest $30,000 of work and effort. But the way that the money works is we get incentivized through all the state and the federal programs. Otherwise, nobody who has solar would be able to practically do it.
Okay. So you make it possible.
Make it possible. And the big picture is the utility companies nationally, and more so on Long Island, we're debasing them in a sense, because those customers every year that transition over to solar, they're not paying who anymore.
Wow.
And so how do they make up the difference? So we're seeing a bigger wave of people now than we have ever seen.
Well, I thank you for being here. I was telling Anthony when we first met, I'm like, I want to do a story on this because it's so important, it's so relevant, and it's almost like you guys just showed up, right? Because sometimes like I want to do stories on pets, I want to do stories on this, I want to do stories on this, and I wanted to do a story on solar systems for the longest time, and there you go.
Perfect.
So walked in the door.
We love the opportunity as well because, our outreach and our product, like I said, it is different. And getting our name out there and getting in front of people and educating them on, what they, how solar will work for them in the future is really important to us. So thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. And what is the turnaround time from the time somebody onboards until the time they get the panels on the top?
A fair time frame would be 60 to 90 days.
Okay.
And there's certain pockets of Long Island that are faster than others, but that's a reasonable expectation. And the reason is we want the quality to be perfect. We want the aesthetics to look great and the price. And as long as a customer knows those expectations of 60 to 90 days and you deliver them or come in sooner than that, you're going to get great reviews, which is what we've been leveraging.
Under promise and over deliver.
Correct.
Right?
Yep. It's important to have that knowledge too, knowing what township you're working in. Permitting times are different everywhere. You can have some townships that are going to get you that permit back in 2 weeks. Some will get that back in 3 months. But we do set that expectation, and we know that ahead of time, and we let the client know. It's not a overnight process, especially done the right way. We would never install something without the permits being taken care of and everything being in order. Done the right way, longer lasting, and with the best possible service you can get.
Chain of integrity, right? At SunChain. Thank you guys truly for joining us, right? I just feel like warm and sunny, just like sitting next to you. You guys are like radiating sunlight and joy. Thank you for watching. I'm Donna Drake. We've been visiting with Anthony and Ryan, and go SunChain. Be well.